the one who owns the product. Suppose you are going to come up with a new product. Say, for example, you're planning to come with one kind of hospitality product, and you are very good in that. You know the in and out flow of the process. Then you will become a product owner. Okay. Mostly the product owner is the one who can be a client if it is a other than IT people or the IT company planning to come up with their own product, then one person who knows in and out flow will be a product owner. Okay.
Basically, product owner, if client is not present and and company wants to
Yeah, build their own product like
yeah,
Microsoft, right?
yeah.
So those guys will be the product owner. See, it doesn't mean that a PM will be a product owner or a BA can be a product owner or anyone who has a knowledge about the product. For example, you take a banking. One individual knows the credit process completely. Then he can be a product owner for credit, right? You understand? Okay. Anyhow, we'll discuss that. Now it is too early to get into that, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
have you cleared this? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes.
now,
Yes, yes.
now we'll go with the next way of understanding. If you once you look into the BA role here, there are certain responsibilities a BA is going to hold. There are three primary job responsibilities a BA is going to have. One is the client interaction. Reason is he is the face of the client, right? Since he is the face of the client, this is one of the primary job responsibilities. The second one is a BA is going to work with the requirement. That means whose requirement it is? Client requirement. So that means he has to own the requirement of the client, then only he can deliver. For example, let me say that the client is looking, for example, there is a banker is there. For their ATM application, they want to recognize the customer using a biometric and retina. But as a BA, I'm not good in that, right? I'm not having any idea. Then what I can do? I can approach the subject matter expert. So who is good in giving me the input for retina? The one who do a medicine, I mean a doctor, who are maybe the eye specialist. You can take anyone. So I will approach that and try to understand certain points like how the retina is going to be scanned. I need that information. And then how the digital patterns are going to be generated. Next, I have to look into how the system is going to recognize those patterns. This is what I need. For this, I know need to go and study the particular subject. What a BA is, we are going to work on the framework. We can work on any project, any domain. So we need to understand how to look into the requirement. So here, when the customer wants to, when the ATM bank wants to identify the customer using biometric and retina, my way of approach is very clear. I need to know that how the retina is going to be scanned and how the digital patterns are going to be generated and how the system is going to recognize those patterns. That is what I'm going to own the requirement. Am I right? You followed? All of you clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Confirm.
yeah.
Sridhar, actually, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I joined this training a little late, so I was continuing the session of the previous batch, which was taken care by Venkat, if I'm not wrong.
What is it?
And I was a part of the previous batch. I believe it was taken care
Uh,
by Venkat, right? So he majorly covered communication. So
see.
this,
See, Smith.
yeah,
You are Smith, right?
yeah, yeah.
That see, what is your query exactly? No
Yeah, so the
disparages,
query
right?
is,
Hmm.
yeah, so the query is as of now we have just completed communications piece of business analytics, right? And now we are jumping on to responsibilities, correct?
See, I'm explaining the profile only. I'm just explaining who is a BA,
All right,
and then I'm going to.
all right.
Okay, this is
No
okay.
problem. I
Okay,
understand. Yeah, yeah.
fine. And okay, this is the way you're going to look into the ownership. See, the another way to get understand in a layman approach about the ownership of the requirement is, see, for example, take a 3 months baby. If she is crying, can she convey her mother why she is crying? No, right? But the mother
No,
will
sir.
understand the pain of the baby and then take the consult from the doctor and apply the right medicine so that she stop crying. You mean that here the mother has taken the ownership of the baby, right?
BA.
So here, if you take the mother and baby relation, who is the role of a baby and who is the role of a mother between the stakeholder and the BA? A BA role
Mother
is
is mother is the BA. Mother is
that
the
is
BA.
Mother
the
is the BA.
BA, right? That means here we need to have a point in our mind. A BA,
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Can you again please explain this example?
see the example is you take a 3 months of baby. 3 months baby means she can't even express what her feelings are, right? So when she's unable to express what why she's crying, but the mother will understand the pain of the baby, and then she'll consult the doctor and apply the concerned medicine so that she stop crying. That means who communicated that particular thing? The mother. The mother is since the mother is taking the ownership of the particular baby input, means baby pain, so that she is able to address that. Here, the mother role is going to be played by a business analyst. The baby role is going to be played by stakeholder. As a stakeholder, they are not trying. They just simply say that I want this, but they're unable to express. So it is the responsibility of the BA, who is a trained guy. He needs to probe the requirement from the particular stakeholder, and we need to meet his requirement. So this is what a ownership of requirements. All of you clear? And the third one is about process. Third one is about process. So we most of the things we are going to address the process in repeated times. For example, let me take an example of our whatever the example we take transfer funds. We initial stage, how we used to do the transfer funds, we used to step into the bank and meet a teller. Teller used to give us an application form where we are going to fill three fields. One is the from account, to account, amount to be transferred. And once we fill this, put a signature and give it to the teller, teller used to do the transaction on behalf of us. That means the transaction is going to be done by the teller on behalf of the customer. That is what the actual process is. Once the internet was introduced, means the net banking was introduced, is the transfer funds process is changed?
Yes, sir. No.
No, the process of to transfer funds, what are the three fields? From account,
From account and
to
to.
account, and amount, right?
Absolutely.
But it is readdressed in the lines of internet banking. That means the customer has to register with the bank and then he is going to initiate to transfer funds taking the same three steps. What are those? From account, to account, and the amount. That means the process is re-engineered in the lines of internet banking. Similarly, when the mobile banking was introduced, is the three fields are changed? No.
No.
Same thing re-engineered.
No.
So, as a business analyst, we are going to be most majority of our work, our responsibilities are these three. One is with the client interaction, other one is taking the ownership of the client requirements, and the third one is process re-engineering. All of you clear?
Sir, can you repeat the
Yes.
third one? Yes, sir. Yeah, process
Sridhar,
engineer.
Yeah,
there's one question here about
yeah.
those three questions. I mean, are you saying that those three questions, like how retina scan, how digital patterns work, and how
Hmm,
system recognized
hmm.
the retina scan, all these questions are going to be asked by the BA to the
This is
client,
the,
from the client?
yeah, we need to understand that, right?
Okay, we need to have that understanding that how exactly this works.
Understanding
We need
either
to,
either either client may give us If the client is not aware, then we get these things from the subject matter expert.
Right.
Okay, that means the domain subject matter expert. Okay.
Yes.
And coming to the transfer funds, that process reengineering, what I mean to say is, if there is a process is there, process means what? What is the process for transfer funds? We need to select that from which account I want to transfer, to which account I need to transfer, and how much amount I need to transfer. Am I right? These are the 3 steps, right?
Yes.
So initially, before this technology was introduced, how we used to do, we used to go to the bank and approach the teller and do these things, right? But once the net banking was introduced, these the transfer funds 3 steps are changed the same. From to
Remains the same, sir.
remains the same, but it is readdressed in the lines of net banking.
Banking.
That
Yes.
is called process re-engineering. Are you
It's just the
clear?
design which has changed.
Yes. Okay. One technology to another technology, right? Now, you can take a snapshot of this. Is it my screen is clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
now we need to
Sorry.
look in.
Sorry to
Come again?
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. You have told 3 things, right? Client interaction and the other 2. Could you please just tell me again?
Ownership of the it is there on the screen, right? Ownership of the requirement and process re-engineering. Is it visible?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
hope you have taken a snapshot, right?
Yes.
Next. Now let's look into, as a BA, what are the skills we need to acquire down the line to be a successful business analyst? To be a successful business analyst. See, as I said in the first slide, a business analysis is what? Enabling the change, right?
Yes.
So we as a business analyst, we are like a catalyst for change. Means whenever a change is going to be initiated, we are going to participate in that change. You mean that we are going to participate, understand the current state and define the future state and make sure that the process flow in a step by step as per the directions given. So here, what we need to have is, we need to have very clear enough communication. Our communication should be more friendly and energetic, because we are working with the team members. Who are the team members? One side is the client team, other side is your project team. And don't forget that technical guys will generally not listen non-technical people inputs. But these guys are going to listen our words because we are the information provider. So here, what is more important for us? Our approach should be more friendly. Then only we can capture the requirements, and at the same time, we should have a high level of energy, right? And that is a one. And then we need to, what is that? We are like an independent assessor. We are like an independent assessor. We mean that when you are understanding certain sort of a requirement, when you look into that requirement, we need to evaluate the outcomes. We need to evaluate the outcomes. Okay, if I go like this, what could be the outcomes?
Can you
Right.
please repeat it again? I'm not getting.
See, we should be like an independent assessor. You mean independent assessor means when you're going to address the requirement, first of all, we need to look at what are the possible outcomes, how the outcome could be. Like, for example, you're talking
Should we
about, you're talking
should we
about,
note down what you're saying?
no,
Sridhar?
no, no,
Should
no,
we
no,
note down?
no, you can take a snapshot. Okay,
Because
my explanations, yes, no doubt.
yes. Okay.
You see, majority will be there, but now and then. So we need to evaluate the outcomes. Okay. The reason is, as a BA, we are going to be responsible for endpoint assessment activities under condition, time scale, and agreements. Okay, so this is how we are going to evaluate. So we are going to evaluate what? Under the condition. Maybe some conditions will be there. Maybe the some time frame will be there, or some agreements. Okay, here what we are going to look into, we are going to assess the competency against an industry specific standards. If you define that your industry is your company is a CMM5 level company, that means our requirement should meet those standards, because there will be some audit will be there, right? What the auditor is going to speak about, whatever you're defining your company, this is a so and so standards, your product should meet those standards. Am I right? That is what the way audit is going to look in. So here we should look into the requirement. It's not a simple thing. Yeah, we are capturing something, we doing, our work is over. No, we need to look into all this. Definitely we'll do that because it's a practice. And the next skill we need to acquire is we need to overcome internal inertia against a change. That means when we are traveling towards, when we are traveling with the change, we need to maintain the uniform motion. Definitely when the change is at rest, there will be some resistance. There will be from resistance. Due to that resistance, the direction may move, may deviate. So what is our objective? We need to make sure that the particular change is moving in the proper right direction. That means any changes, it may deviate. Again, we have to put it in track. Otherwise, we may not reach the goal. So that is what we say it is, we need to handle that particular inertia, which is part of the organization. And we should create positive attitude of collaboration. Very, very important. As I said earlier, we should be like a friendly, right? We mean that here, one side, a client team, other side, our IT team. The objective of this project is what? Everyone should work for the success. Everyone should work for the success. That means all should work together. Together means what? Collaborative. Together means as a team, we need to collaborate. So make sure that the whole team will work for the common goal. That means they need to work as a team, right? So this is how we need to maintain. Okay, because there may be some conflicts will be there. Sometimes the client will say something and our team guy will say something, and there will be some inputs will be there where sometimes client will ask something which we can't, we are unable to deliver because of various constraints. So we need to handle all those things. Okay, and we should be like a self-confident engineer of change. Self-confident engineer of change, which is with respect to the client. Client should trust us. When the client should trust us, when we are very clear about our goals. If the client tries some inputs to you, some requirement to you, if you give them some clarity in the particular requirement, and you start looking in a high way, then definitely he will trust us. Okay, that means we should be very clear on our goals. How to be clear on goals? Maybe we need to address that by experimenting or taking out from your experience. Okay, and also there may be some negative thoughts will be there. Maybe there may be some negative thoughts. If there are some negative thoughts are there, you just move out into positive thoughts. And as a BA, you feel that you are the best. You feel that you are the best, and you celebrate your strengths. Don't look into your failure, your weaknesses. You need to celebrate your strengths. Then only you can build the trust with the client. Okay, if you start sharing in your weakness, can he gain trust on you?
No.
No. So whatever we have, let's sell that only. Okay, let's celebrate your strengths. This is how we need to gain the trust with the client. Very, very important. Because in future, anytime when the client is going to get any sort of a thought process in his mind, the first resource should come into his thought process is B. That sort of trust we need to gain with the client. right? And we are to be like a creative problem solver. We are should be like a creative problem solver. Everyone can solve the problem, but the variation is the way you're going to think about. That means the way you're going to apply the mental process of search, right? Where do you get this? If you have an experience, you can pull out from your experience. If you are very new to it, then what you can do? You can do some research, talk to your subject matter experts, and find out in the globe, through the globe. Like that, we need to work on. So, how to be
Sridhar, Sridhar, can you
Yeah.
explain first 2 points, catalyst of change and independent?
I'll come back again. I'll come back again.
Okay.
Okay. So, how to be a problem solver, creative problem solver? First of all, we need to be self-aware, right? I need to have about my knowledge. Okay. And you first don't look at the problem. Okay. You start look at the problem from various perspectives. Okay. You don't look at only a particular range. Just think out of box. And you use a method. You apply your own method to guide your thought process, right? And you start thinking from the end user perspective. Don't think from your point of view. Think that if the other guy is using, how to be the problem, how is going to look into that. See, when I'm delivering to you a session, I'm thinking from your perspective because I know what the way you're going to look. I may have some idea on it. So I'm going to start delivering it, but taking small examples also. And try to focus on the right inputs. That means it should be relevant. Okay. And it's also very important to have a market knowledge. Means whichever the experience, whichever the domain you're working, try to gain that knowledge. Okay. Means you need to gain the particular marketing knowledge. So this is how, if you have these things in your mind, definitely you will be the best solver. Means your problem solving skills will be in a high way. So this is how we need to look into. Okay. And we need to be an excellent communicator. What do you mean by communication?
Flow of information.
Flow of information.
Exchanging of information.
Okay.
To express our thoughts clearly to other person in easy way.
Yeah, expressing, right? First of all, to get this skill, first of all, we need to,
as you rightly said, expressing. So again, just wanted to clarify, will it be a expressing or documented kind of a communication it should be?
See, that could be anything. See, first of all, to communicate something, maybe verbally or textually, whatever it may be, first of all, you need to have its skill set. What we need to do? We need to
Listen,
right? Very important when you're understanding a requirement. See, sometimes we are known with that particular input, but the way the other guy is looking, maybe slight difference will be there, right? And if you go with your understanding, definitely there will be a fire on the requirement, right? It's going to backfire. So listen to others is the first and most thing. And you focus on the understanding like what the stakeholder is going to say about it. Okay. By listening, we need to understand what he's saying. And at the same time, you pay attention to the non-verbal communication. Very important. The reason is, see, when you're going to talk to something and you're saying that, is it okay? The other person, unwillingly, sometimes they say, okay, right?
True.
Can we just, if you see his expressions, can we guess that this guy is not completely satisfied?
Absolutely. Even we cannot assume the accent.
Yes, we can.
Yes, that means as a DA, we should never go with the virtual commitments. Even though you're going to take up the calls from work from home something, as a business analyst, we generally go with the video calls because very important for us to understand that too when you are understanding the requirements. Okay, so we need to pay attention to the non-verbal communication. There is a lot of difference between verbal and non-verbal, because we need to watch the differences in the patterns, inconsistencies, and all these things, right? So these are the skills we need to acquire down the line. If you have these qualities, yes, we can do anything. Like you will be the successful business analyst.
Sridhar, one thing. Can I
Yeah.
ask one question?
Yeah, please.
So, with all this communication which you have said, completely agree. But let's say currently I'm working for life insurance company with a Axis Bank relationship. I'm
Okay.
heading Axis Bank relationship. So
Okay.
for me, customer is everything. For me, my client is everything. Obviously, I can't go beyond anything which is unethical to my organization.
Correct.
But for me, client is everything. So when you talk about the stakeholders, non-verbal communication, ye wo, so how does it matter unless until my client is not delighted? I won't be getting an incentive. I won't be getting a good whatever the renewals or whatever you can say.
Yes, Kapil, you're doing all these things in your profile. Or when you're talking to your customer, will you look into his the way you're communicating with him? Are you looking into your eyes or not?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is a kind of the way you're capturing the inputs, right? So here, why? Because as I said before, only you all guys are involved in this. But the same thing we are working out in the with respect to what? Addressing the solution, right? We are going to capture this, and these inputs are going to convert into a solution later on. That's what today we are going to use the software applications, right?
True.
So whatever you did, whatever just now you said, you did all these things unknowingly. Here we are reading in the theoretical part, but it is what an experience is, right? All of it clear? You can take a snapshot of this. Yes, someone asked me about the catalyst for change. Who is that?
Yes, this is Siraj here.
Yeah, Siraj.
Catalyst for change and independent assessor.
Yes. See, here is what is the said business analysis for understanding the current state and defining the future state. And from the current state to future state, we need to move the process, right? The one who is going to lead this particular change from the initial state to the final state, this is what we say it is as a catalyst. Okay.
You mean to say he should be very participative in the process?
Yeah, we are going to participate. Okay. And coming toward the independent assessor, for example, let me connect you in another way. You, with your family, you move to new city. For example, either your son, your sister's son, or your brother's son, you want to join them in a school where you are very new to it. What we are going to do, we are going to approach our colleagues, we are going to approach our neighbors, and we are going to look into Google somewhere and find out what are the best schools. Okay. Yeah. Then everyone will tell their own the school which they know, right?
Yeah.
But what we need to do, if I join this kid in this so-and-so school, his career will be like this. Okay. And if I join him in this course, his career would be like this. This is what evaluating the outcome, basing on the requirement. Like that only, we are going to make him to join the particular school, right?
Yeah.
If you want to make him to get into the defense, you will select one type of schools, right?
Yes.
That is what evaluating the outcomes, right? Okay. Take a snapshot.
Rao sir, as you said that catalyst for change, the BA will be involved only when the client requests additional change.
No,
in the
anytime.
initial stage, BA is no responsibility.
No. BA is involved right from the beginning.
Okay.
Right from the beginning. I told you that exam. I think you're connecting to my earlier presentation, right?
Yes, sir.
That means where the BA role Why the BA role was introduced in the IT, that for that reason I gave that. But he is involved in complete life cycle. Okay.
Okay.
Can you please brief about third point?
See, when
third point.
Yeah, I'll tell. When there is a change is going to be addressed in the organization, let me tell you one thing. Your organization is going for a new type of timing and all. Okay, they ask you suddenly to come every day morning 6 o'clock. Will there be a resistance? Will be there?
No.
Yes.
Employees will resist, right? So when it is a job given to you, you take it of it. What we need to do? We need to take some measures so that it is going to be implemented, right? I may announce some incentives, or I may provide you some sort of a relaxation, or I may give you some type of timing, like in a week you come only 2 days. So that particular HR guy who are maybe given the responsibility will take some measures, right? Why is going to do that? To fulfill that change process, right? Clear? So whenever you are going to work for a particular requirement, where you are going to look for a requirement, a change, then if there is a resistance, we need to handle that. We need to handle that. Okay. Now with this knowledge,
can we put in this way, like if any user is not giving as much information about the change, so you need to be very patient and get that information. Is that right?
Yeah,
my understanding is
yeah. It's a kind of thing. We'll have one example also. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Now, with this knowledge, whatever I right now discussed with respect to the BA, can we define BA like this? A business analyst is any person who performs business analysis task. Now, the second line, no matter the job title or organization role, you may be entered into an organization with any designation. If you are given a task and asked you to perform that task, that means your role is what? A BA. Now, you all guys are BAs or not?
Yes, we are BA.
Yes, coach.
You all guys are BAs, right?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what the main role is. Now, if you look at the business analyst responsible, these guys are responsible for discovering, synthesizing, and analyzing the information. Whatever we are going to work out, what we do, we come across various other methodologies, other sources, and we do what? We analyze some information. And we are going to work from variety of sources within enterprise. To give the better solution and all, we may even using certain tools. Okay, we may use some tools and we'll make sure that the purpose is solved. And let me complete. In other words, a PA is responsible for illustrating the actual needs of the stakeholders, which frequently involves investigating and clarifying their expressed desires in order to determine underlying issues and causes. Okay, whatever I explained you previously, finally, we are going to sum up and say that a business analyst is a one who is a part of business analysis. Now you ask me that.
What do you mean by synthesizing?
Synthesizing means bifurcation. See, whatever the data you are going to capture, right? We are going to categorize them. Okay. So which is what is what like that.
Sir, I have some different question. Actually.
Yeah.
Who is responsible to source the business, like the stakeholders?
No, which business?
This we as a BA, we will be working on stakeholders problem or the project. Okay. Is that like BA is responsible to source the business from market?
Idea will be proposed by the client only.
Okay. B is not responsible to get the clients in the company.
No. We are not going to be part of it.
Client's requirement.
It's a client requirement.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
No, sir. He is asking that who will find that client?
So the client
The
acquisition is
client,
something which
see,
we are.
you are talking about the generation of business, right? The
Shall we
business
close the
generation,
business?
business generation done by the business development team only. But once
That's sales team.
Sales team. Once we receive that business, from there onwards, we can hold the client for a longer term, right? If the project is 1 year, if I have a good relations, if the client is very much confident with me, he may extend his business with me, right?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So in that way, we need to understand that also.
Coach.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Coach, I have a query. For example, as we discussed that the BA is the person who will be facing the client, correct? Who will be interacting with the client. Now, the thing is, who will be interacting with the client first? It is a business development team or it's a BA?
See, if it is a no. If it is a new project, if the client is not yet approached to us till now, then the business development team will be looking into that. Once the project is assigned to us, from there onwards, we will be taking forward.
So from that time onwards, we will be interacting with the customer. We will be interacting with the client instead of business development team.
Yeah, their role will be over. Once we get the project, once we assign the project, their role will be over.
Okay. So like, see, before initiating the product, when the business development team is discussing with the client, correct? So they will be discussing on the budgeting part and all also.
No. See, here, they will be having an idea. See, business development team, as far as this IT project is concerned, we'll discuss one more topic is there in that, where they are going to take part in generating the business, and they will have an idea about the budget and all. But what the team can do on the back end, they can't know. They don't know anything about it. There, a BA will be involved in that. Once the BA is there in a particular project, definitely the companies will make the BA to be part of the budgeting, or not for budgeting, part of the closing the requirements. So because a BA knows that what his team can do, but not a BDM guys can do that.
Correct. But the thing is, so the point is, who will introduce the BA to the client? Is it project manager or business development team?
Project manager.
So business development team will introduce the client to the project manager.
Yeah, no, see, business development will bring the project to the organization.
Okay.
Once it is reached us, from there, the PM and the senior BA will be taken care of.
Okay. So project manager is still not involved.
Yeah, because they will bring the project to the organization, not to the concerned PM or something else. Project will be awarded. That will discuss this. Give me some time, right?
Okay.
And coming to someone asked me about synthesizing means what I said, that combining all the inputs together in order to achieve a task, right? Means combining them. Fine. Next. Role of a business analyst in a project. Now, upon the understanding what we have, the first thing is what? We are gathering the requirements, right?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Could you please go with the back screen? I can get a snapshot.
Okay, cool.
Also, synthesizing, can you explain it again?
See, synthesizing means when you're looking into the particular requirement, right? See, what we do that, we may go with one module somewhere, another module somewhere, but at a particular point of time, both are to be combined in order to give a solution. See, for example, you take that, if you take arithmetical operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, like this. When I'm talking about arithmetic operations, are we going to speak about only addition, or subtraction or multiplication? We have to combine all, right? You're there.
Yes.
Yeah, that is called the way you're going to look into the requirement, right? Now, the role of a business analyst, the first is one of the requirement role is what? Are we gathering the requirements involved? Right. Then we are going to plan and document the requirements. Then we are going to model the requirements. Then we are going to communicate the requirement to whom? To whom we are communicating?
Technical team.
Technical team, right? And then we are all going to handle the change request, and we make sure that client accepts our product, right? There we going to come talk about the signing of document. This is what a BA role is. Are you clear, all of you? Take a snapshot.
Yes.
Sridhar, so in the user acceptance testing, so are we doing the user acceptance testing or are we preparing the user acceptance cases only?
See, we do high level testing. See, before the client tests the product, we do the test. Okay. Now. Okay. Now, right from the beginning, I'm talking a particular word. What is the word is stakeholder, right? Who is a stakeholder?
Everyone who is involved in the project.
Yeah.
The person with whom we take the input.
Yeah. See, a stakeholder is any person or group of persons or an organization, right? Who are directly or indirectly affected or impacted by the proposed IT solution. To understand this, let me give you an example. Let us go in detail. Here, as per the IT projects is concerned, as per the BA is concerned, we have a project stakeholders who are the business analysts and our project manager, the development team, the testing team, the operations, and the architects, and all guys comes under the project stakeholders. Who are these? Our IT team. And other side, the business stakeholders. Who are those from the client side? Their project manager, their business owner, similarly, business sponsor, executive sponsor, who are maybe their operation team, and single point of contact means the one who is going to the point of contact for any sort of an operation and their end users. So if you take these project stakeholders and these business stakeholders, they are going to be built on their company, right? They are the direct team members. Am I right? That means these two guys are directly involved in the success of the project. Agree?
Yes.
Both the guys are going to be directly involved in the success of the project. Besides these two, there are third-party stakeholders are there. Where these third-party stakeholders, who are those means? The auditors. Is the auditor is an external party?
No.
No. Auditors will be, we are going to hire the auditors, right? What is the role of an auditor? They are going to measure the software, measure the particular product. If you are saying that this particular product is ISO standards, then there are some 1,000 parameters will be there. They'll make sure that all those 1,000 parameters are going to be met in your product or not. Similarly, you are investing some amount on the project, and they'll measure that how your investment is. Are you investing? Are you just invested all at a time, or you're investing phase by phase? Very clear. So these guys are measuring the particular product as per the standards or not. That means indirectly they're supporting the project, right? Because finally you will take an audit report, right? The audit report is going to showcase you what you have done in the right manner. Your project is in the right manner. Similarly, focus groups. When you're aiming a particular future product, that means you'll be concentrating on what? Who could be my target users? Basing on those target users, I'm going to come up with my application. See, for example, you want to start a kind of an app, a particular business like a Zomato or Swiggy, then who could be your target users? Can you run that particular app or watermelon business in a remote villages? Will it work?
Restaurants and the customer.
No.
Okay, so you are going to focus what? Who are your target users? The customer, the public, where the public should be in a mood to accept
The metro.
to use metro team like that, and the restaurants. You should have enough restaurants are there. If the restaurant is 20 kilometers away, will it?
Is the end user and focus group not same?
End user one who is going to use the product. See, for example, you take an ATM machine. Who is the end user of the ATM machine?
The customer.
Customer, not only the customer, the internal bank team also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like that. Okay, almost they map to each other, but focus group is the third part. We are going to aim for the third part. Okay, and coming to the manufacturer, where this manufacturer, if you look at in an ATM machine, there is a printer is there, right? Is the printer is there?
Yes.
Where do we get the print receipt? Through a printer
Yes,
only, right? That
Yes,
printer,
yes.
that printer is once you look at a printer, we get a size of 1 feet, right? But that printer, if you take, it is a 4 inches. That means the manufacturer has come up with a particular printer design as per the specification of the ATM, right? The ATM machine. So this guy is also supporting the success of the project, right? Similarly, outsourcing. If you are not having that particular skill set with you, so what you will do? You will outsource to the third party. Like if you are an IT team, you are not having the testing team with you. Will you create a new testing team or will you outsource it to the specialist?
Outsource.
We outsource, right? That means those guys who are taken our assignment, they're going to work for success of the project one, but they're working indirectly. Similarly, legal specialist. In any project, any product, when you're going to buy, in the last you have terms and conditions, right? I accept all the terms and conditions. What the guys are going to do there, they are going to build a particular legal points. They are going to support the project, means the particular product. If you go with any sort of a particular issue, it is going to protect the product. So these guys, we are going to write the points in such a way that it is going to protect the particular product. So all these third-party guys are indirectly working for what? Success of the project. There are some other people who works for what? Or failure. Who are those? Always look about our failure. Who is the guy who always look about your failure?
Competitor.
Competitor. Hacker. Public. Is the public is a negative stakeholder?
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
I guess, if we go against to their feelings or against to them, will they allow us? No, right?
It is both actually. They can be positive and negative both, depending upon their perception.
Yeah, it depends. Okay, first we need to look into the negative and make sure that it is not going to affect him, so that we are the safe, right? So we need to look into, even the government, we need to look into positive or negative.
Both.
Negative.
Government is a negative.
Both.
Why? Because
Negative.
governments are going to run
They
the
always change the
government.
rules.
Yeah, government is going to run basing on the promises they are given to the public during the elections, right? So if the government has promised that we are going to give we invite all the IT companies to your place, then if I go with that particular input, and tomorrow if the government changes, we will be in trouble, right? And there will be some clauses will be there when the government offer you some land and all. 70% of the locals should be there in the particular organization. Is it possible? Is it feasible? So there are certain things are there which will be negatively impacted on the success of the project. So that is the reason we are saying that a stakeholder is any person or a group of persons or an organization who are directly means what? project stakeholders, business stakeholders, these are the directly. Or indirectly, means third-party stakeholders who work for success of the project and failure of the project. Who is working on failure of the project? The stakeholders. All of you clear? So
Clear.
Should we take a snapshot?
Yes, please take a snapshot.
Sir, here is the doubt. Who are going to hire the auditors, legal specialists, everything here?
Our
Client or project?
No, if it is a client point of project, it is a what you call is a client specific, then client will hire. If it is a product project, we are going to hire.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Can you come
I have a
with,
doubt regarding this
legal
SOP.
specialist?
This is single point contact, right? So who can be these persons?
It depends. See, for example, in your organization, they may appoint you as a SPOC. We can't say that particular role is going to be a SPOC. At that particular position, whoever may be the person will be given as a SPOC, based on the particular term, particular context. Clear?
Sridhar?
Yes.
I do have one doubt regarding the roles and responsibilities.
Spock will be subject matter expert like that.
He can be. That's what I said. No, I'm not going to stick on to any particular role. It could be anyone, right? As per the situation, as per the problem is concerned, here the particular person will be that Spock. Maybe a subject matter expert, maybe a BA can be that, or maybe some sort of a delivery manager can be that. Who could be anyone. Okay. Why we are going to go with the Spock and all, I'll discuss later. Again, it's a separate topic, right? I'm going to address all this. I mean, the critical part, the Spock and what you call focus group, and I'm going to address all. Yes, Pranjul?
Could you please just go with the before screen 1 minute?
Yeah, this is the before screen. Yes.
Sridhar, Kapil this side.
Can I?
I just wanted to know ki, for any change request which let's say BA has to handle. So like for every change request, he has to follow the escalation matrix, or he himself have to design the escalation matrix?
No, there is a method. Escalation matrix is there, but there is a process is there. We are not going to that level. See, that is a separate topic, Kapil.
Okay.
I'll meet all those requirements, right?
But it will be there, no?
Yeah, it will be there.
Okay. Thanks.
And
Sridhar, just one doubt regarding the roles and responsibilities for the business analyst. So, do a BA also take care of the conflict management? I mean, like if there are conflicts in between the teams, like internal.
Yes. We will be there. We will be involved.
Okay.
Now, have you taken this snapshot?
Yeah.
See, someone asked me about the legal specialist.
Yes.
See, legal specialist is a point where, see, we are going for an open market. Okay. Then there may be some sort of a conflict should be there. Maybe some other one may raise a particular issue on us. But finally, one should give us a support, means that someone should support our product. They start writing the legal points. First of all, to control the total legal issues, they will fix up wherever the company is at that judicial law. Okay, that judicial area. Next, they will put all the points where everything is going to be in the favor of the particular product. So, who is going to write those legal points and all? This legal specialist. Followed. So that's what in every product you buy, in the down you'll be having, I accept your terms and conditions, right? We simply blindly put a tick mark and go. Tomorrow, if something goes, the product is in a safe mode and we will be losing it. Am I right?
Yes.
How many of us will read all the terms and conditions?
Very few.
Very few, because their guys will write around 100, 200 also sometimes. Where do we get time? Okay. So next, you are clear about the stakeholder, right? All of you?
Yes.
Now, next, another important point which I am discussing is about a requirement. Okay, before going to that, now you can understand here. as a business analyst, we work with the project manager with respect to scope and status. Got it? Means what is the project scope and where the project is as of name. And we work with the business users with respect to the user requirements. And we work with the other stakeholders with respect to their expectations and constraints. Similarly, from the other side, we work with the project sponsor with respect to his business requirements. And we work with an IT team, means the developers and the testers, with respect to the functional and non-functional requirements. So if you look at the as a whole, we are like a facilitator. We are facilitating the process. Which process we are facilitating? Software development lifecycle process. Clear?
True.
Sorry
to interrupt. Say, for example, BA has got all the user requirements or high-level requirements, and he will be writing on his own on the functional and non-functional requirements, or he will be discussing with the developers to write.
Yeah. I will next. I will go and discuss that. Okay.
Sure.
Next time we will discuss. Have you taken a snapshot of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there is a small task I am going to give you. Yeah, please. What is it?
I was thinking this. It is in the PPT, na?
It is there.
You shared that information.
Yeah.
This information.
This is there in PPT. See, you all are working in some companies, right? You all are working in some companies.
Yes.
Now, what you do is you list out all the stakeholders who come under the organization where you are currently working. And if suppose you are a fresher, anyone is there in the fresher, you write with respect to your college where you studied recently. What you need to do is you write it on a book or a paper, take a pic, share via my WhatsApp number, and where this is my WhatsApp number is. All is clear? Not now, after this session is over. Okay? Clear, all of you?
And what is your
Come again?
And what is your WhatsApp number?
Yeah, down in the screen it is visible.
Sir,
91541.
can you repeat again?
What you do is you take your organization where you're working. You identify all the stakeholders with respect to your profile is concerned, and write it on a paper or a book, or you can directly share via your WhatsApp window and send it to me.
Stakeholder in all parameters. Business stakeholder.
No, not as a BA. With respect to your current profile.
Okay. Got it.
Your current profile, you
But
list
it's
out all the stakeholders.
parameter, all the stakeholders required.
Whatever I discussed now, in that whatever we are going to map to you, you list out all those, right?
So ideally, you mean whomever we interact with, jot down all the names and put it across.
Yes.
Not and names, roles. That we need to bifurcate according to the 4 type which you have.
This is according to this. I need it. Right.
Accordingly, we have to.
Yeah. I just want only the roles, right? No need to. You recollect the names and put the roles, right?
Okay.
Very clear.
Come again.
Okay.
Can you repeat again?
You recollect the roles of your company. Generally, you may be working, for example, you are in a banker. Your customer is one of the stakeholders, right? Yes. And your vendors are one type of stakeholders, right?
Does the manager is also one of the stakeholders?
Stakeholder. Yeah, why not?
That comes under project.
So, who comes under project? Who comes under business? Who comes as third party? Secretary. Think and write. No need to do anything, right? Just to make you to understand exactly how we look at the stakeholders. That's a small exercise. Clear? Hope you have noted my number 915415595.
Taken a screenshot.
Okay. And just put in your name and then write down. Just the name is enough. Now, another word I'm using in the total flow is a requirement. So what is a requirement? A requirement is a
need.
Very clear. A requirement is basically the need of the client. This is how I just make you to explain this requirement by taking an example, and again I'll come back. Okay. See, you might have seen a retail store near to your home, like more, or take something, some sort of a smart or whatever it may be. In that particular retail store, if it is a brand new and they just now started, nothing is there, who you are going to see there? Who are the stakeholders in the retail store? One, the manager.
Owner.
Okay, the manager. Who
Executive.
else you can see that?
Executives like
Yes.
salesperson,
And cashier.
security guard.
Okay. Okay. These are the major stakeholders, right? Assume it. Let us say that these are the major stakeholders. All of you connecting, understanding?
Yes. Yes.
Now,
yes.
what my scenario here is, this retail store is brand new. They're not having any kind of a solutions are there. They are working manually. They're working manually. And these guys are maintaining very quality products with minimal prices. The products available in the retail store is a high quality, and whatever the price is of minimal prices. Then what will be the status of this particular retail store? How the customers is going to interact? Will the more customers or average customers or less customers?
Sir, after the stakeholders, can you please repeat the...
No. What I'm saying is, I'm just giving the base inputs for the retail store. This retail store is a brand new retail store, and the products available in this retail store is a highly quality and price is reasonable price. Then, can you expect more customers or less customers?
Less customers.
More customers.
More
Okay.
customers.
When I'm getting less price and quality product, definitely everyone will rush, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when everyone is going to rush, and that particular retail store is going to maintain manually, okay, then what will be the negative part of it?
Time consumption.
Time.
Long chains, long lines.
Operational loss.
Operational issue will be there, right?
Operational
That-
issues.
Yeah. Then, now, you understand that scenario? Just keep it aside.
Yeah.
Now, let us come to the manager. Who is the manager here? He is the head. What is his goal?
More business.
To increase
More
the
business.
sales.
Yes, increase the sales, gain the profit. Okay,
Yes.
increase the sales and gain the profit. Today, if you get 1 lakh profit, tomorrow you'll expect 1 plus, right?
Yes.
But coming towards the scenario, whatever we have addressed, can he increase the sales?
Yes.
Yes, of course, he can.
But
Could you please
there is
come again?
no.
No,
Manually, he won't be able to.
manually he cannot.
Could you please
No,
come
he
again?
need to put more efforts in the operational issues,
Yes,
and he
that
can increase
means
the sales.
as of now, the current situation, when everyone is hitting that particular retail store, right? And everyone can select their products, but there will be a high customer waiting time while payments.
Yes.
Will this affect
Automation.
the improvement of the sales?
Yes.
Ultimately.
Because sales will improve only when there is repetitive customers, right? When you're
Correct.
morning, you're going to your office and you want to buy a one particular item in that thing and you have only 10 minutes time, will you take a break even though you know that you're going to get a quality product with less price? No, right?
Mostly ignore.
Ignore, right? That means they're losing the repeated customer, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Now, if he wants to increase the sales here, then he has to think it beyond.
Automation.
To increase the sales, yes. To increase the sales, what is saying that can I have an IT solution for accepting the payment so that I can increase the sales, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
You understand this point here?
Yes.
So this is with respect to what? The business. So we call this as a business requirement. Agree?
Yes.
This is
Sure.
what a business requirement is. All of you followed?
Yeah.
Now, when you look at this as a business requirement, And then we need to look at who are the stakeholders in the of the available who are responsible for these payments.
Cashier.
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 Cashier is the concerned stakeholder who will be handling this particular payment part. Then we need to understand his inputs because he is the business stakeholder, right? Now he says that I am going to have, for example, I have customers, some will come by pay by card, some will come by pay by cash, some will come by pay by coupons. That means his requirements are these three. So these are what we call it as user requirements. These we call it as what? User requirements. These user requirements are with respect to the business requirement. All of you clear?
Yeah.
Got it. So this business requirement and this user requirement are going to be defined and addressed by the business analyst. Because we are the one who is going to interact with the customer, the client.
Should we note it down? Should we note it down?
No, wait. I'll give you time, right? So
Okay,
this is what this is. And now upon this, the next level, we are going to communicate this to whom? The technical team.
Technical team.
And now what they will do, they are designers, they are architects, will now come up with a design. So accepting payments, there are three types of customers are there. So let's come up with a menu. If a cashier presses 1, then he has to get a screen of pay by cash. Then he is going to, the customer may shop for 450 rupees and he may give 500 rupees. Then once he presses the button, then he has to return the 50 rupees from the cash tray. So once he presses the pay button, the cash tray has to open and he will put the 500 inside, give the 50 rupees out, and immediately the cash tray will close. If the customer is going to want to pay by card, then it has to open the pay by card screen. And where he enter the card details, then once he say pay, then the swiping machine has to activate. And then he do all the transaction, and then immediately the swiping machine has to deactivate. If the customer is going to come by pay by coupons, then the coupon screen has to open, pay by coupon, and he'll enter the details of the coupon and simply submit. It is stored in the database. So who is going to design this? The architects. This is what the architecture is. And if you observe that, you can observe the solution is some kind of a navigation of screens. If I press 1, a payback cash screen open. If I press 2, payback card opens. If I press 3, payback coupon opens. So this is what we call it as a navigation of screens. Why with this navigation of screens? Because we are achieving the solution. So the navigation of screens in order to achieve the functionality. What is that functionality? Payment. Payment has to be done. This is what we call it as a functional requirements. The navigation of screens in order to achieve the functionality is what we call it as a functional requirements. Means the functionality of the particular solution. And if you look at, as per the IT solution is concerned, these screens are all part of the development. The cash tray and the swiping machine are the third party, right? These are the non-functional requirements. What happens is the integration of this cash tray with the solution and the swiping machine with the solution and their performance means how quick the cash tray opens, how quick the cash tray closes. It means a lot, right? The turnaround time. How quick the swiping machine activates, how quick the swiping machine deactivates. Again, the turnaround time. So these are what we call it as non-functional requirements. You mean that integration of these peripherals means the cash tray, swiping machine, and their performance with respect to the solution is what we call as a non-functional requirements. So these two are going to be addressed by the technical team. Got my point? Now, if you look at the, just hold on. If you look at the whole thing, when you look at the requirements first we are going to understand the business requirement. Business requirement is with respect to client inputs. what he's looking for. His need is the business requirement. And accordingly, we are going to address the stakeholder requirement. That is the user requirement. And if you look at basing on these two, what we are going to address the solution requirements, right? And then we are going to deploy this application at the client location. Right now, the situation of the retail store is a manual operations. If they want to run this application at the retail store, which is manual, what they need to have?
Training.
They need to have a training, computer, infrastructure, and then counters and the printers. All these they need to have, right? Then only this IT solution can be deployed there, right? They all are called as a transition requirements. To run this application at the client location, what the client should have is called as a transition requirements. And these are one-time installation requirements. Means we are going to install only one time, right? Later on, we may revise the version of the software, but the structure will be remains the same, right? So we are investing in what? Only one time. All of you clear? So how many requirements we addressed here? Business requirement.
What is solution requirement?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Business requirement, stakeholder requirement, solution requirement, transition requirement. So when you are addressing the business requirement, you are going to address this by means of a document called business requirement document. How you are going to define that? By using a document called BRD, business requirement document. And the solution requirement document, stakeholder requirement is what we call it as a user requirement document. User requirement document. Why I'm saying user here? Of all those user, I'm talking about only for a cashier, right? Because others are not concerned with this particular PR. So these two, who is the responsible person?
Business analyst.
Business analyst. And upon these inputs, now they're going to come up with a solution requirement. What are those? One is a functional requirement. That means the navigation of screens not to achieve the functionality. That is going to be addressed in a document called functional specification document. And what is the other requirement? Non-functional requirement. They are going to be addressed in a document named called supplementary specification document. These two documents combinedly call it as SRS, Software Requirement Specification.
Is this all included in the PDF? Like
yes. No. This is not that. Just hold on. Just hold on. This I'll give you
lot of jargons. Yeah. Okay.
I just hold on and tell you. Okay. So here in this functional specification document is going to be prepared basing on the inputs of the BA. Because unless until a BA gives inputs, can these guys design this?
No.
So we are going to be involved in while preparing the FSD, but we are not going to be the owner of that. Who is the owner of this SRS? The project manager. You clear?
Okay.
Very clear. So this is the overall scenario of the requirement, and this is how we are going to be part of it. All of you clear?
What is the full form of SRS?
Yes, I'll tell you. So I'll tell you one by one. See, now what you do is parallelly you write down this, or will you take a snapshot?
Take a snapshot, but then we need to.
So do one thing. I will tell the observations. First, you take a snapshot, and then you note down the points.
Also, Sridhar, can you give the difference between functional and non-functional requirements?
I will tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you that. See, now in this particular thing, what are the points we need to understand is BR stands for business requirement. BR stands for business requirement. BR stands for business requirement. And SHR. SHR stands
Do
for.
we have a recording this case?
No. You will get in the last. Just try to understand my flow. You will get it right. SHR stands for stakeholder requirement. And SR stands for solution requirement.
SR stands for
solution requirement. And TR stands for transition requirement. And coming towards this, BRD stands for business requirement document.
1 second.
Sorry?
Business requirement document.
TR for transitional.
Transition requirement. Transition requirement.
So with this example, can you give the idea?
The BRD?
Where is the
BRD? I'll tell you. BRD stands for business requirement document.
URD?
User requirement document. URD stands for user requirement document. And FSD stands for functional specification document. Functional specification document. And SSD stands for supplementary specification document. Supplementary specification document. Okay, and SRS stands for software requirement specification. Software requirement specifications.
Yes, what is that? Yes.
Software requirement specification.
Sridhar, I have a one
SRS.
query.
Yeah.
What is SSD exactly?
Means the details of this piping, you see, you are going to integrate these things to your existing solution, right? That means this particular application, whatever it is, a swiping machine, will have a database. That data should be integrated to our IT solution data. So they need to know what exactly the specification of these things. That is going to be stored, recorded in a supplementary specification document.
Yes, sorry, I missed.
That we'll do in the last. Okay.
What is FSD?
Could you please?
No, whatever I'm right now going to explain this BRD and all will be learned in the last. Okay.
Sridhar.
Yes.
These words are universal, right?
Yeah, universal.
Yeah, we can use these words as universal.
Yeah, you need to get habit of it.
Sridhar, could you please give
FSD?
example for supplementary?
Yes. Supplementary specification document means, see here, please make yourself unmute, mute when I want to talk something else. See, if you take these screens are the one which we are developing, right? And if you take the cash trace piping machine, we are not directly involved in that, am I right? Those are integrating to our application. So when I want to integrate that particular third-party devices to our application, as a technology is concerned, I need to connect to the database. If suppose my database is Oracle and their database is something else, MS Access. So they need to give us a particular kind of a association. Both the tables should map each other. Then only I can have the flow of the information, because the swiping machine is going to send some data, right? You're entering your details from your application, but swiping machine finally will return what? Transaction ID. Got it? That means my software should connect to the third-party software. That what exactly the third party is, what is their configuration and all will be addressed in the supplementary support document. Are you clear?
Yeah, and what will be
Could
in
you please explain this
FSD?
again?
Could you please explain it again? Yeah.
What is that?
FSD. What will be the
Yeah,
what will
FSD,
cover in
POSD.
FSD?
See. What FSD is going to address this particular part. Navigation of screens in order to achieve the functionality means the architecture of the particular solution. What is happening? What is the architecture here? They are given that there are 4 screens are navigated, right? Where this is the one where from here you're going to get pay by cash, pay by card, pay by copay. This functionality is going to be addressed in the FSD. Got it? Clear?
Yes. Okay.
And wherever you're using third-party devices, their inputs are going to be defined in SSD. Got it? These two combined together is what an IT solution, right? That is going to be addressed in a SRS. Clear?
No.
Vijay here. Sorry to.
No.
Yes, Vijay. Yes, Vijay.
As I asked in the previous slide, as a BA, we are writing the FSD, yes. But how do we get to know that the navigation of the screen will be the FR? No, I understand as you write, I can understand. But as a BA,
no.
From whom do I need to think on my own, or I will?
No. We need to understand the client business process, and then we're going to come at this. See, just give some time. I'll explain to you. Okay. Anyhow, I'm whatever your question is a valid question. I'm going to give the answer within a couple of minutes, right? Vijay, follow.
Sure. I was on mute. Sorry. Sure.
Okay. So, is it clear with this?
Sir, what is the difference between BRD and URD?
BRD is the client point of view, the major business requirement. You can see here what is addressing here. IT solution for accepting payments. So with this particular requirement, a particular user of the client team is going to be acting on this, right? Is addressing on this. So his requirements will be the user requirement.
Can you give one more example for FSD and SSD?
FSD and SSD means, for example, you take this Zoom application, right? You take this application, you and I are interacting through what? Zoom only, right?
Yes.
Who asked me this question? Yamini. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what the functionality. If I am using a back arrow, the screen is going back. If I am using a front arrow, it's going. Is it the functionality is there? Okay. And if I use the go to previous page, I can go to previous page. This is what a FSD is addressed in the FSD. And now you and I are able to connect through what? Through the internet, right?
Yes.
So, and also you are using some internet and we are working on it. That is is it a direct trip to a solution or third party?
Direct.
Third party, right?
Yes.
So those internet, what speed you need to have, how much bytes you need to have, which is going to be addressed in a SSD. Clear?
Yes.
Can you give more light on TR? Transit.
TR means, for example, I'll tell you one more. You are mad in playing video games.
Sridhar,
Right?
sorry to cut you. Just one small doubt. For all these documents like BRDs, URDs, FADs, do they all have a universal format, or it is like it varies from company to company?
Standard parameters are there, addressed in different ways. Okay. Parameters are standard. All has to follow the common standard of IIBA.
Okay.
But can be addressed as per the requirement of the client. Okay. Now, someone asked me about the TR. Who asked the TR? About the TR example. So, for example, Kapil, you are very good. You are just mad of playing video games. You find a new video game in the market and you got a CD. In the CD back, they will write instruction to be given. This particular CD will function if you have your laptop or computer with 16 GB RAM and this much of space. If you don't have that, what you will do? You will upgrade your system to that particular configuration. Then only it is going to run on the system. Am I right?
Correct.
That means the upgradation of the RAM or the RAM what you are going to add is a transition requirement.
Okay.
In order to run that CD on your laptop, you need to have this. And are you going to add that particular RAM every time? Only one time, right? You buy it and it. So that is what we call it as one-time installation. Similarly, when you buy your what is a refrigerator and all, they used to say you should have a 3-phase in your home. If you don't have, what we used to do, we used to get that particular point, right? Am I right? That means those are what a transition requirement means. In order to run your application at a particular location, that location should have these inputs. Then only it can run. Got it?
So TR is like an additional cost to the client.
Transition means the requirements required to use our application.
Achha.
Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Sridhar, just for my understanding about FSD and SSD, what I understood is that FSD are those things that are directly linked to the operations.
Yes. One next slide you can get the clarification. Just wait for next slide.
Sure.
Okay. Now, see whatever right now I discussed before that. This is what a theoretical part is there in your book, which I explained. You can go through later. Now, addressing his requirement, his question. Difference between functional and non-functional. If I can make you to understand this, you will get your clarification, right? Functional requirements are going to be addressed in FSD. Non-functional requirements are addressed in SSD. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at these two variations, the objective of functional requirements and the objective of non-functional requirement is what the product does is a functional requirements. Clear? What the product does is a functional requirement. In the earlier example, what is a functional requirement? Accepting payment.
Navigation of screen.
Navigation. If 1 means cash, 2 means card, 3 means coupon, right? And how the product works is a non-functional. How quick it is going to work, right? How quick the cash drawer opens, how quick the swiping machine activates. These are what the functional, non-functionality, right? Means mostly we will look at about the turnaround time, right? When you go to a petrol pump and you're using your card, if they're taking much time to swipe your transaction, will you go next time with the card? No. No, right? That means it is a part of a non-functional, right? And other one is where you're going to focus the functional and where you're going to focus the requirements. The functional requirements, the focus is on the user requirement. Here, the cash card, buy cash, buy coupon is whose inputs?
Cashiers.
Am I right? And
yes,
what is his expectations? He wants to make it done very quick, right? Without any ambiguity, right? That is what is a non-functional. Because he needs to use it in a comfortable way. He needs to use it in a comfortable way. So that is the reason if you look at the ATM nowadays, earlier we used to enter our account number, everything. Now are we entering? No, right? Because they are giving the comfort zone to the end user to use it so that any user can access the ATM machine. Am I right?
Yes.
That is user expectations. Next, documentation point of view. These are going to be captured from the inputs of the user document. That is what we call it a use case. And those are going to be captured in the quality attribute. Means we say that I want this product, I want to have this quality. Am I right? So we'll define those quality part. And coming towards this particular essentiality, here functional requirements we look at, they are mandatory. What is mandatory? If I put 1, cash operations, 2, card operations, 3, coupon operations. But coming towards non-functional, they didn't say anything to you, right? I want the solution. Is it mandatory? No. But desirable. Why desirable? Today they ask you, I want this application in your developer and give it to them. But your application is acting in a delay base, means it's taking time. Next time he'll come to you.
No, he will not.
That means I'm losing my business, right?
Of course.
So even though it is not mandatory, but it is desirable. Similarly, look at the other point. What we say is end result. Here the functionality is going to define the product features, whereas the non-functionality is going to define the product properties. What is the difference between features and properties? Just text me by tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Features are the ones that the customer faces. Enjoys.
I need a small examples from you, not technical examples. Some sample examples, layman examples, because very important, right?
It is.
I want the
it is
difference
like,
between feature versus properties.
it is like if you have to if I want to register for the ticket booking, then that response time is comes under non-functional, and that login website is feasible for me. That comes under feature.
Features. Okay, you're talking about properties and features. Anyhow, right. We'll go with it. Okay, but it's a good example.
So
now
can you repeat the slide again?
And coming towards the origin type, the whole slide, I'll tell you back again. I'll explain again. These origin, the functional requirements of who is going to define? The user only, right?
Yes.
But about the non-functional, the technical experts has to define. Because who is providing the solution? Technical guys.
Either who,
Okay,
here, who
so
is the
this
user?
User means, in our example, the cashier. In our example, the cashier. And who will be the technical experts? Our technical team, right?
Okay.
And one more thing is the types is the interface, authentication, authorization tables, business rules are come under the functional requirements. The usability, reliability, scalability, and performance comes under non-functional requirements. I'll tell you one thing. There's an Apple phone is there. For example, the Apple phone recent features, maybe it comes around 1.7 lakhs like that. And it was launched in the Indian market. At the same time, the Chinese mobile was launched in the Indian market and its cost is around 90,000 with equal features. Which one you'll go?
Definitely people will go for the China thing because the
Low cost.
mobile
If suppose,
is low cost, yeah.
if by mistake it fell from your hand and is broken, what is the cost of that? What happened to that cost 90,000?
Zero.
That means, can you rely on the China mobile?
No.
No. That means, are you going to use, is it going to be usability? No, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
But if the same thing happened with the Apple, you can go to the store, nearby store, right?
Absolutely.
The service center will be there, right?
True.
So these are all comes under what? Non-functional. Means usability is based on the reliability and the scalability and the performance. These all comes under the non-functional. So very important slide of this is we need to know that what exactly the functionality and what exactly the non-functionality. Functionality we are going to capture from the user point of view. Non-functionality we are going to address, and to satisfy the user, we need to address this non-functionality. In simple to understand. Okay, see, I'm using this particular Zoom application. When I'm using the arrow, it's taking time to get the next slide. Are we comfortable with this? No, right?
No.
And if the voice between you and me is taking some time to translate, is it okay? No, right?
No.
If my voice is not mapping to the text, there's no meaning in this. I'm not going to use this Zoom again for the next session, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So these are all comes under the non-functional requirements. Got it?
Yes.
Now you take a snapshot of it. This is not there in your. This is not there. Previous one is not.
But Sridhar, I suggest if you can repeat the entire sheet again because no, little bit.
Which one? This
over the
sheet?
head.
The
Yes,
previous
sheet.
pages and all not taken the snapshot.
The objective, focus, documentation,
Yes,
essentiality.
yes. See, what I mean to say here is, but the reason here is talking with respect to the functionality and non-functionality. Forget about your IT and all. Functionality means what? What actions are going to be performed?
Sridhar, just a second. Can you just quote an example and just thereafter you can just align these things?
That's what
Just-
I'm saying. No,
Yeah, yeah.
you should. Let us not go to any other example. Let us go to the example what we discussed. What this particular product is going to do. What are the examples we are saying? We are discussed in the previous slide. Accepting payments, right?
True.
Accepting payment means what? I have three modes of accepting of payments. All those three is my objective, right? And how it's going to work? If I press 1, I'll get a cash screen. If I press 2, I will get a card screen. If I press 3, I will get a
Coupon.
screen. If I say press 4, come out. You understand the objective is?
Yeah.
And then focus is what? How you're going to address the functional requirements. Based on the inputs of the cashier. How you develop how you come up with this art design? Because the cashier said these are my requirements.
True. Agreed.
And he is going to satisfy only when he use it in a quicker way. What is his expectations? To make it quick, because their object is what? To increase the business, right? To make that customer waiting time, to minimize that, right? That is their expectations. So we are the guys who need to address that, right? And documentation point of view, what documents to be delivered, this is too early to discuss, but it is captured to the use case. Use case means what? Requirement point of view. His requirement are 3 requirements: by cash, by card, by code. And the non-functional is captured through the quality attribute. Someone is on your camera, please look into that. Okay. This is going to capture through this one. And essentiality point of view, functional requirements, the cashier is saying that I need these 3 to be there, these 3 modes to be there. This is mandatory. But non-functional, the guy says that I want like this. He can't know because he is not aware of it. It is not mandatory. But when he wants to use it, when he's using it, he expects that, right? See, when you go and ask, go to a restaurant and say that I want a biryani. Okay, that means a biryani has to be delivered. But what is my expectations as per non-functional? I want to have it, right? But when I put it one particular spoon in my mouth, then I feel that whether it's a tasty or not tasty, right?
Correct.
We don't say that I want a tasty biryani, but I say that I want a biryani home. So non-functional is not mandatory, but it is desirable. If suppose you are not able to taste a tasty biryani, next time again I will not visit the restaurant, right? So essentiality point of view, functional is mandatory, non-functional is not mandatory, but desirable. Similarly, end result outcome of the functional, non-functional. Here it's going to define the product features. Here they're going to define the product properties. That is what I asked you to work out. Right? That will clarify tomorrow. And then who is going to initiate this particular thing? It is usually defined by the cashier. And this is going to be defined by our technical team. And what are the different types of functional requirements are? The interface means the one which you and I are interacting is an interface, right? The screen is an interface. And authentication, authorization levels, right? Authentication means you can enter into my session only when I allow you, right? Similarly, the business rules are there. Business rule means the Zoom application. If I don't have a licensing factor, can I go with complete 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours?
Sridhar, sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
Sridhar,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. So if in focus section, in non-functional, user expectation, we refer to expectation of user or something expected from the user.
User will be expecting something from the requirement, right? So what is the expectations of the user here? Quick access, right?
Yeah, quick transaction.
Quick transaction.
Okay, okay.
You got it. That is what the user expectations. Why is coming for the for this particular solution? Because he wants to minimize the customer waiting time. If you want to minimize the customer waiting time, the transaction time should be minimized, right?
Right, right.
So Sridhar, just one more thing I need to understand. Like you're saying in origin type, the non-functional requirements are moreover been defined by developers or the technical team, right? So these requirements, once they have been gathered, so do a BA take those requirements back to the client and communicate everything that this is like the challenge or something like that, or is it something which we keep it for internal use for the team working on the project?
Whatever we are going to work out is with a teamwork only. And it should be transparent to the client also.
Okay.
Okay. So, but whatever the point we are taking forward to the client is to be prior to the consent with the technical team.
Okay.
Because we are not going to take any sort of a decisions.
Okay.
Our role is very clear. We are a facilitators, right?
Okay.
So we need to facilitate the process only. We are not the decision makers. Same time, we are going to do everything with consent to the technical team. Clear?
Okay. So, and this requirement gathering for non-functional requirement, can you please tell again which document has been used to gather these requirements?
Supplementary specification document, SSD.
SSD. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you clear? Yeah. So next, yes, tell me.
No, so will the BA write these FRD?
No, BA will be involved in when they're creating the FSD.
Okay, sure. Thank
okay, because it all based on our inputs only, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, now.
What do you mean by scalability?
Scalability means how can we can stretch this, the particular solution, right? Okay.
Hello, sir. I have a small doubt in the objective one, sir. You said that for the functional, it is what the product does, and for non-functional is the how the product works. In that example, you have used the one for the card, or second two is for the what money or cash or something you said, right? So those two are like functional only, right? Like
no. What the product does is what is addressing the payment gateway, the payment process.
Okay.
How it's going to address the payment process is how the product works.
Okay.
I think I think I want to add some points here. The functional requirements is all about the operational perspective we need to think actually. So non-functional, it's all about the technical perspective. So how the backend works.
Yes, how the backend works. Yeah. It's moreover, it's going to be a kind of a reliability, scalability, and all. That is a major factor.
Yeah, the tangible and the intangible, right?
Yes, correct.
So the functional
so
we can able to see.
Can we say
we can't?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So can we say that functional is all about technicalities and non-functional is all about the attributes of it?
Yeah, technicality means first of all, functionality is the concept of what, how the going to give you a solution. Okay, technicality, that is what again high-end answer. How you're going to provide it. See, for example, the functionality is what, how I'm using this Zoom application.
Okay.
Means if the Zoom application is not responding in, yeah. Capturing the inputs. It's too early, yeah. Just wait for some time. Okay. Now, okay, just hold on this again. We know the whole session, remain session also will work on requirements only. Just hold on here. Okay. Next important point is what about the business process model. We are going to work on the business process model. So what is a business process model? Means in any sort of a application, whatever it may be, we may be addressing a project, we may be addressing a product, we may be addressing a module, or we may be addressing a particular feature. But everything will be having a process model. A process model is speaking about it has a goals. Every model will have a goal. You mean what? Why this process is here? That is what a goal is. Why this process is here? Next, it has a specific inputs. It has some resources going to be involved in that, and is going to perform certain activities in some order, and finally has a specific outputs, and then create end value to the user. Create end value to the user. So to understand this business process, I'll take a small feature. One example is withdraw cash option in an ATM. If I take withdraw cash as a feature and want to address the business process model of withdraw cash, what is the goal? Zero. That means a withdraw cash with quality, right? Quality means some quick. And what are the inputs?
Details that is given.
Card.
Cash.
Card is not an input. Card details means on the card you have account details, amount and PIN are the inputs, right? Right. And card is
resources or card.
Resources is a card, and also one more thing, one more resource is there. What is that? ATM machine.
ATM machine.
So if you have an ATM machine there, and if you have a card, you can do a transaction, right? So
Yes.
these two are the resources. And what are the activities?
One has to go to the
They will
machine.
give us the cash back. It will give us the cash back and a printout of mini statement.
Okay, means first I'll give the inputs, right? I'll insert a card means what?
inside the machine.
Yeah, that means what? I'm giving the inputs, and your inputs will be validated, reach the bank server, and the bank server is going to validate whether you are a valid user or not, whether your amount is a valid or not. Because you may request 3,000, and your account is having 2,000. Will it give you? No. So all those validations will be happen. And if it is true, then it's going to detect your amount from your balance and give you the cash. And finally, if you request, you'll get a receipt also. Is it what happened?
Yes.
We should be in detail when you're presenting it.
Okay.
Okay, that is what you need to look at. We cannot simply say that A, B, C, D. Let us go to from A to B, how it goes. From B to C, how it goes. That's the way of thought process we need to apply. You have to start looking into that. Okay. And what is the output of this?
To the receive
Cash.
Physical cash and the transaction slip if requested, right?
Yep.
And what about the end value to the customers?
We can buy whatever you want.
It debits the cash and gives the
Quickly the
balance.
payment. How quickly the
Account balance.
Satisfaction.
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 Okay. And it's based on what? Act. And very important thing is what? The availability. ATM is there, you are there, power is there, no cash. What is the use?
Yep.
Right. And cash is there, ATM is there, no power. Right. Availability is what? In order to perform this particular feature, ATM should be there, cash should be there, power should be there, network should be there. Then only this feature will execute, right? Works. And what end value are going to give to the end customers? Who are the end customers for this ATM machine? Public is what?
Bank customers,
yes,
local people.
One is internal customers, other one is external customer. Who is an internal customer?
Staff.
Bank
Staff.
employees.
The staff who are responsible for the ATM operations are called the internal customers. The one who is using that particular services, end users, we call them as a external customer, public.
Okay.
Right. And if you look at, this is what a business process model is. If you look at as a whole, the inputs will be converted into outputs. Means, what are the inputs? The account details, amount paid will be converted into physical cash and transactions. And the resources, means the ATM machine and the card, are going to facilitate the process. This is what a BPM is.
Sir, can you explain the internal customers again?
As far the ATM machine is concerned, who are the internal customers? Means the one who is going to maintain the ATM. For example, you take the operator. What is the ATM operator will do? He refill the cash, right? He is an internal customer or no? He's a bank employee, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the one who is maintaining this application, this ATM application sitting in his office, he is also another internal customer, right?
Yes.
Then who is the external customer? The public. Okay. The public who has a card, right? Clear?
Yes.
Take a snapshot of this. And now, what you do is, I'll give a small task to you. You take any one of your tasks in your current profile. You may be working, right? You all guys are working, right?
Correct. Yes.
Take any task, and address this BPM. Followed? Means, what you need to do? You take any one of your tasks in your current profile and address these 6 points. Take this as an example. Okay? Are you followed, all of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And again, you need to send it to my WhatsApp, right? Clear? Okay. Now coming towards.
Could you please go back to last slide once again?
This one?
Yeah. Fine.
Sir,
So do we need to do our own or
fresher?
like?
What about?
Fresher.
What are you saying? What about?
A fresher, what should?
Fresher. Okay, good question. See, what you do is you have done your examination process right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
Means how you're going, you're supposed to write your examination. Okay, that you take it as an example.
So actually, I joined late, Sridhar. I'm not aware of what is the task one actually.
Task 1. In your current organization, you find out who are all the stakeholders of your profile, of your organization.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now,
Sridhar sir, I was
Sridhar?
facing some system issue, so I missed, I think 15 minutes of your session. So,
don't worry.
may I know when I get this recording? sir?
No recording will come in the last, but still by tomorrow, again, it will be covered. They'll be coming somewhere. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
It is in initial part only. You'll be the whole subject is part of that. Okay. I will address somewhere tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night I will address again. I'll just give a quick look so that you can understand. Right. See. Now we are going to understand, read this, means get this knowledge by applying. See, make yourself mute this. Right. 8 skill areas of a business analyst. Here, we as a BA, we need to we have some queries in our mind. How many BAs are there in a project? Am I the only guy? How much time I'm going to be given so that I have finish my work? Yes, do you have this idea? Do you have this doubt?
Yes.
These things we are going to, such things
Yes,
we're going
sir.
to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, these such type of inputs you're going to learn in directives. Then competencies. As one of my friends asked before class, are we going to involve in conflict part and all? Yes. What is our role? facilitate the process, right? By the facilitating the process, man management is also important, right? As a BA, our first and most thing is we should have enough patience. Okay, that's very, very important because we need to understand that. So we are going to handle the such type of team management and conflicts and all. That is what we are going to work in the competency skills. And I need to know the process flow. That is a software development lifecycle. We are going to work on this. And the technical skills. What are the technical skills we are going to learn? We are going to have UML diagrams. And comes is what the functional skills. How to understand a domain is a thing where we are going to learn. Understanding a domain means what? You guys and we are all maybe put in one domain only. We don't know other domains. Unless until we get into that. So here, what we are going to learn is the BA framework. What is a BA framework means? See, in any project, see, make yourself mute, please. It is disturbing others. Okay, if you take a BA framework as a project point of view, you take banking, you take insurance, you take hospitality, you take health, whatever it may be. Every project we are going to work on the business process planning. We first will have a business process plan. Then we look into how the requirements are going to be analyzed. Means requirements mapping. Then elicitation collaboration. This is common for any project. But what is varying from one domain to other domain? This strategy. Their requirements analysis and design part means how the requirements are going to be addressed and their evaluation. These three are going to be project specific. These three are going to be project specific. So it is like the top three which I discussed: business analysis, planning, and the requirements mapping, and the elicitation collaboration. We call this as a BA framework. That BA framework is going to be applied on the project specific. That is the strategy, what you're going to do, what you're going to apply, and then how you're going to address the requirement with respect to the project, and then how they're going to be evaluated is going to be vary from one project to other project. So that for that part, we are going to work along with the help of a subject matter expert or the client inputs. So we are going to concentrate on the BA framework, not on the project specific. We can work on the project specific. So these six are what we call it as the 6 knowledge areas of a business analysis. So we make you to work on the framework. And then how to capture the requirement from the client. Okay, I may be applying certain technique. Then how from whom should I have to capture the requirement? What is the guarantee that the stakeholder is going to give me a valid input or not? All this we are going to understand the requirement engineering part, what we call stakeholder analysis and all. And you are going to be familiar in certain tools where we do in a day-to-day operations. Like we are going to draw the diagrams. For that, you need to know about the drawing tools. Here in corporate, it will make you to work on MS Visio. And similarly, you are supposed to draw the prototyping and all, wireframing. For that, here in corporate, they make you to work on Balsamiq and Excel. And the other way is you're going to work on the Jira software. The reason is you're going to work on the Agile Scrum model. For that, they'll make you to work on the
What
Agile
did you
software.
say? Balsamiq and?
Balsamiq and Axure, AXURE. Okay, so these are the things. And other tools like Power BI, Tableau, and then SQL, and then testing. Awareness is enough because we are not going to be used in the day-to-day basis. So they are also going to this corporate is also going to give you those inputs during the project practice, during the nurturing process. It's a trainer driven sessions will be there on all weekends. And coming towards the documents, as a BA, we are responsible for 2 documents. What is that? Business requirement document and user requirement document. User requirement document. And we'll be having awareness about the function specification document and supplementary specification document and SRS also. That awareness is enough. No need to be mastering that. But the earlier two should be mastered, right?
Yep.
Like this. And also, finally, in a particular project, what is our contribution? We, with the project manager, are going to lead the particular project. So from our point of view, we are going to, what is the contribution towards the business planning?